everybody. It is Friday. How you guys doing out there?
Good.
It is Friday. You know the song just got paid. It's Friday night. We're gonna show you how to get paid. Please welcome to the show, Peter, my man. Peter, give him a big round of applause. And there she is, Fire Red. Fire Red, make some noise. Make some noise.
Yes. So happy to be with you guys. So what, for me, every day is good, whether it's Friday or it's Monday. I love every day, so I'm good with that.
All right. Okay, you know something? Just for you. Hold on 1 second.
I hear nothing.
There we go. We gotta make the background fire red today just for you, okay?
That's good.
That's what we're
That's
talking
good.
about. All right, guys. How you doing, man?
Very blessed. Just walked in the house 10 minutes ago, but perfect timing. So everything is good. I was gonna do it at another lady's friend's house, but she has a roommate, and I'm like, I probably don't need to wake up you and the fam, Jay. This might be a little much. I'm gonna make it home. Good decision.
Nice.
Better background.
Nice. All right. So here we go. Giving you some background. But before we start, let's say a big thank you to our sponsor. Give it up for our sponsor. We'd like to thank our sponsor because without our sponsor, these shows would not be possible. Give her a call, 647-866-6969. That's 647-866-6969. The Bitcoin Exchange, independent crypto community. If you're looking to do some exchanging, give them a call. Thank you to our sponsors so much. All right, buddy, let's roll this out. It's a Friday, and I know people are interested to know what we got.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Ethereum. This is Ethereum's the project. Even though I got into Bitcoin for Bitcoin and the movement, I was there for the forming of Ethereum. It's like my little baby in crypto that I was part of. Bitcoin is like, the older brother that I didn't see him alive for a little bit, but I was super happy I had him. But Ethereum is like, yeah,
All right, that's why he was a little side brother. Even though you beat him up now and then. Crypto is the big brother. Ethereum was like little small brother, and you watch him grow, and that's the main thing about it. So let's talk about it. Do you think it'll ever go bigger than crypto?
It's not. It's okay. So actually, what's happening to Ethereum right now? Let's rewind and get to the basics to start for anyone watching the show for the first time, right? So again, like I say every time, Bitcoin changed the world by making something digital and rare. If you email me this podcast, email me a photo, a video, a song, I could download it 1,000 times. I could send it to 1 million people, right? So Bitcoin solved this issue of making something digital. Not that it was an issue, but it was something that other people, cypherpunks, did their best to conquer in the 90s when internet was forming, early 2000s. But it wasn't until 2009, a white paper came out. 2008, the white paper came out October 31st. And then January 3rd, 2009, this system came out that's a distributed computing system with massive computing technology that's making something digital and rare possible through massive cryptographic computing power, right? And this is what is going to be not necessarily the mining, but the mindset and digital rarity is the future of where we're going when it comes to interaction as human beings. Like we went from interacting just in the physical world,
right,
to especially the last year, primarily interacting just in the digital world. And even if we go back to a world that's in between, we're still very heavily interacting digitally, right?
Yeah.
So we need a digital way to interact with each other that provides, we had internet came, information, amazing. We're communicating with people all around the world, but now it was a do in the world to go a few steps forward. So the one step forward was Bitcoin, creating something digital and rare. Going forward from that, today's topic is Ethereum. Like I said, super excited. Whereas the computer language on Bitcoin is made to be simple. It's made to do basic commerce, right? Which is what it was intended to do, which is a good thing, right? So for example, you could program, because people are very innovative, you could program smart contracts and do put a rare bottle of wine or a Rolex or some kind of vehicle, and you could program some kind of basic computer language into Bitcoin on its blockchain if you need to. Even though that wasn't the purpose, it's possible. But with Ethereum, this is why it's completely different. It was actually made to build out smart contracts, complicated smart contracts, to fulfill who even knows the options in the world where we need digitally? So whereas Bitcoin's computer language was made to be straightforward and simple, Ethereum made its own different computing code called Solidity, right? So C++ is the most common coding language. So for anyone that doesn't know this stuff, it's not important. Just so you understand the basics, that it was so complex that it made its own computer language because it had goals that were so big for its time, right? So Ethereum's launch, the logic and the concept and the excitement behind it was, could we build something more than just finance with this digital rarity? Could we actually build a new ecosystem? Could we potentially build new platforms, a new Internet 3.0? These were kind of the ideas when it launched. So let's go back to the basics, right? So how it started was there was a very genius programmer, a very young guy, 18, 19 years old at the time, Vitalik. And he got mentored by, actually, blessing that I'm in Toronto, a gentleman from Toronto, Anthony Diorio. And they connected somehow through just like him throwing Bitcoin events and being in the Bitcoin community, just like whoever is entering now, right? So just being in the right place, right time. And then I'm assuming through Anthony, they used another gentleman who was closer to 30 years old, who's an awesome like rock star programmer when he was in his teens and 20s, and he's still amazing. But this was like the new up and coming class, so he helped Vitalik mold his genius idea a little bit. It's mostly Vitalik behind the whole thing, but he just had a couple of people just guiding him to make sure it rolled out the right way. So that was the people behind it. So for people that are new to Bitcoin, we don't know who Satoshi Nakamoto is. Could be aliens, could be 20 people, could be one genius person, could be most likely it has to be someone that passed away, right? Because of how much patience and how much discipline you would need to maintain to be one of the most influential people in the world right now if you came out about it and you just keep it to yourself. Anyways, these were some of the more difficulties you want to say with Ethereum, because the community in crypto started with Bitcoin. And in Bitcoin, there's no founder of who Bitcoin is. It's this mysterious alias, Satoshi Nakamoto. So when Ethereum came out, even though there was major other altcoins that were relevant at the time, there was for sure, like Monero was already out, Dash was already out.
Right.
There was altcoins at the time. But why I'm obviously biased. I told you the story of like one of the gentlemen being from Toronto, right? And the other one growing up. And so two of the three gentlemen, one was Russian or European, Vitalik, but he grew up in Toronto. And so was Anthony. So two of the three founders of the second biggest crypto project just happened to be in the home place where I grew up, where I was blessed to grow up. So probably also why I got into it so passionately, because it was right in my face, right? If I was already passionate about crypto, how am I not gonna, go to the next step? And actually, before I forget, I gotta thank Anthony. I haven't done enough. I know he's done well, but in the early days when I started off, there wasn't that much YouTube presence. There was only one or two documentaries on the whole internet about Bitcoin, and they had Bitcoin magazines. And the magazines were very well written, looked very good. And for a younger person like myself, that was do my best to educate people instead of just using my words or send them to the one video that existed online. It was powerful to hand them a magazine, right? Like a Bitcoin, like a hard with like literature. And every time I started by just taking like 5, 10 at a time. Then all of a sudden I'm taking boxes. And I'm like, Anthony, man, let me give you like, now in hindsight, it's hilarious that I think that I was offering him like 20 or 40 bucks, knowing where he is in life. But it was the gesture. The gentleman worked with me so much. So I'm telling you, the people behind Ethereum, I can tell you firsthand, I interact with them on a day-to-day basis. And they're good people. They're like Anthony helped he's one of the major guys behind the Bitcoin movement in Toronto. And Toronto and blockchain, like Toronto till this day has the only Ethereum ETFs. We were the first ones to have Bitcoin ETFs. Like we're a major movement in the society when it comes to cryptocurrency. Okay, so we got the founders out the way. So what made Ethereum special besides that? Well, when it came out, it was made to do smart contracts that are complicated, right? But obviously when it starts off, it's in an infrastructure stage. So a funny story was, for anyone that's, by the way, second guessing crypto, get in the space, be patient, things can happen. I'll tell you a quick story. Everybody that went to the launch of Ethereum at Decentral in Toronto, and mind you that when Ethereum launched, it was about 30 cents US. But every single human being, there's only about 100 or 200 of us at the event. Anthony said, you know what? Anyone that emails me gets 10 free Ethereum just for showing up to the event. I had a guy that was supposed to be more tech savvy than me, but he didn't figure out how to make the wallet properly. It was my mistake also. I didn't put no time into it. And we emailed him, but we didn't follow through. Not a big deal. I got to Ethereum shortly after, very blessed. But the point was, just by attending an event, what's Ethereum today? I think it's about 4,000, 3,800 US. So by just attending an event in Toronto 5 years ago, and you not losing what you were given, you could have 40,000 extra dollars. So I don't know if that's life-changing income for a lot of places in the world, right?
That's a free.
But I'm telling you, the background behind Ethereum is so exciting. It just makes me, all over my body, because I understand that it's going to change the world. And the main problem actually Ethereum's having right now, I'm going to go forward and rewind back, is it's succeeding too well. The biggest problem Ethereum has had the last 6 months is it has so many transactions and so many people building things on it. The network is jammed and it's expensive to do transaction fees. But if you talked about this in 2016, 17, like this might be an issue. This would be the golden problem you can have on a blockchain. It working so well, so many people using it around the world that it outgrew its potential faster than they expected, and they had big dreams. So this is actually a very exciting. So here's a horror story with Ethereum, and all crypto has this thing being in it. So when you got into Bitcoin, and for all those business, actually anyone young watching this is going to help you understand what Ethereum Classic is and why it's a pump and dump and most likely not something you should be getting into unless you're going in and out on a small trade.
Okay.
So Ethereum came out and they're like, you know what? We're going to launch the DAO, Decentralized Autonomous Organization. This was the world's first. And man, guys like me were excited. We're like, oh my God, we're about to have this new thing. So every single Ether I owned, at the time, Ether wasn't very much. So even if you had hundreds and it's $10, it's not big money we're talking about, right?
Right.
I went all in. Every single Ether I had, let's go into the DAO. Ether was exciting. Now Ether made the DAO. I'm going all in. I have a few of my friends that went all in. Well, the technology was new at the time. And of course, things happened. So a hack happened. And someone was able to not necessarily take the money, but they were able to put it, cipher into like this third smart contract. And there was complications. And they had a few solutions to solve it once they realized it. So all these people that went all in, all of a sudden you're like, yo, Bitcoin's amazing. Ethereum is the future. Now there's this decentralized autonomous organization happening. Well, you shouldn't go all in at all, but I did go all in. Put it all in, and now it's like, oh, there's a hack, right? So, fortunately, this is why I'm such a big believer about Ethereum, if I don't forget to mention it. It's not just what the technology does. There's a strength about people gathering and people communicating and people being passionate about something. So Ethereum, besides Bitcoin, all meetups were called Bitcoin. They barely even used the word cryptocurrency like 5-6 years ago. It was all Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. All of a sudden, after Ethereum came out, shortly after, maybe a year shortly after, in Toronto, mind you, where I am, where it's a big influence, I started seeing meetup events for just Ethereum and groups and organizations for just Ethereum. So there's obviously a care and a passion around the world. That's what makes it. It's not just the technology, it's people understanding the technology and being passionate about it. So back to the DAO. The DAO gets hacked. Luckily, the smartest minds, in my opinion, in the world, or definitely some of the smartest minds in the world, are working in this space, and specifically in Ethereum. Right now, the team they have are like the programmers they have, the guys that are working on it are just awesome. And like I said, some of the guys pivoted their own way, started their own projects, but they did contribute to the network massively. So all these great minds got together, Vitalik being the head of them, and they're like, okay, how do we fix this problem? So this is not true like decentralized blockchain. Like if you're about just the movement in this new thing, it wasn't the best thing, because what they did is they took back the blockchain and reversed it to fix the problem. But technically, this is supposed to be not that it's not possible. It's only possible because it was so early on, but it's not part of what's supposed to happen in cryptocurrency. You're not supposed to be able to go back and change things, right? So in this case, they made an exception. They had like a massive vote with they actually people vote as well, like holders, and they decided to, you know what, let's see what happens. So they came up with this concept. They rolled it back. But for the people, that's why I love crypto so much. For the people that were straight enthusiasts that are like, you know what, this is wrong. They launched, the solution was to launch Ethereum on another blockchain, but like the same one, meaning the main network. And then the original one is called Ethereum Classic. So anyone that was holding Bitcoin before the DAO, and then the hack happened, depending where you're holding it, almost all places you're holding it actually ended up giving you both. So even if you're holding it on an exchange, whether you're holding it on a ledger, whether you're holding it on wherever the case may be, you ended up getting both, right? So Ether Classic was just the original chain and it maintained, and the hacker who hacked however many Ethereum, I guess got to keep the Ethereum Classic hack, whatever the case may be, and that continued without a community. So that coin is just like, it's called a fork in cryptocurrency. So you could just, sometimes a project pivots, like it happened to Bitcoin many ways. Like people disagreed on the block size, meaning how much information could fit in every single block in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin forked, and that's why we have Bitcoin Cash. So the original block size that was intended for Bitcoin continued as the main Bitcoin, and the people thought that there should be a bigger block size, made Bitcoin Cash.
Okay,
so
hold
these
on.
things happen.
Time out. Explain that one more time, because I think a lot of people get that part mixed up when you say a block and cash. Dive into that a little bit more.
So a blockchain means something that's verified every minute. In Bitcoin's 10 minutes. Every blockchain is different. Like Ethereum, it's every few seconds, 17 seconds or so. So you have cryptographic computers,
right?
And in Bitcoin's case, you use mining to solve these issues, these blocks, to encrypt these blocks. And there's other technology which Ethereum is switching to, which is like staking, which is you use still a solid base of cryptographic computing power, but then you use the network's token or the network's digital asset to leverage the strength, right? But regardless, it's these blocks of information that get verified. So that's why I was explaining, like, to reverse these blocks is technically not supposed to be possible, right? But they made an exception in this Ethereum DAO situation, right? And that's how Ethereum Classic emerged, where the true believers were like, know what, you should never compromise the blockchain, you should never compromise the tech,
the structure of it.
Classic. And now there's this. So what else is going on with Ethereum right now is it's switching from mining to staking. So I've mentioned mining, staking a lot in general throughout these episodes today a little bit. Go into it. Like, don't expect, if it's your first time watching or you're new to the space, don't expect to understand mining and staking by a few paragraphs any human being says. It's complicated, right?
Right.
But it is something that is literally changing the world. This technology is building the new internet 3.0, right? So what Ethereum is doing is, imagine Ethereum on mining blockchain. The example a lot of people use, not just me, it's actually a great example. So in cryptocurrency, we don't let the plane land and fix it. The plane is already flying. The blockchain is active. Every 17 seconds, there's a Ethereum block. But yet people are looking to build, fix things while it's active. So imagine you have a plane on air, right? And it takes, let's say, diesel gas, right? For whatever reason. Ethereum launched a 24 engine, double massive plane beside it. And that's what's going to be the staking plane. The original plane's the mine. So they're using different fuels. One's using diesel, one's using rocket fuel. And they're both flying at the same time. And they're looking to merge these two planes together. That's what's happening in Ethereum right now. You have a new infrastructure being formed and built, but the existing one, the layer that it started on, is still running. So Ethereum is actually switching from mining to staking. And there's going to be a point where, like, right now, technically it's both, but the people who are staking on Ethereum are not going to be able to gain the rewards until Ethereum 2.0 officially comes out, and then they could use the new Ethereum. So these are, how loyal do you have to be in this experimental technology? How much love do you have to have? You know what? I'm going to take a chunk of my wealth, lock it in, and I'm going to get future profits on this network that's going to build a new layer that's not built while two planes are flying, but I'm confident. And that's what's going on in the world. You have people literally, go on, Mary, I see your hand up.
Okay, so on that, when you say staking, is that something that I put in a particular account, or I just let the money sit in there in my wallet and it's just gonna do the staking?
Yeah, no. So eventually, most likely, what you're saying will happen. Like it's already happening with certain tokens on many levels. But right now, staking Ethereum outside of BlockFi, which is the the platform that's insured we mentioned last time,
Right.
and there's other platforms that are not insured that I kind of prefer to because you have to give your identity, but there's still you have to do that one little step. But when Ethereum 2.0 fully launches, whether it be a year, 2 years from now, whatever the case, maybe when it's full net, I don't see that being the case. I believe almost every wallet you hold it on will naturally happen. So as of today, yes, you would, and I wouldn't recommend any new timer lock in their Ethereum until 2.0 in a smart contract. That's you have to be like a crypto like OG a little bit, right? But there is platforms, like I said, you could lock into and they'll give you interest on it. And eventually it will be everything. So Ethereum launching 2.0 as it's flying 1.0. But this is exciting, right? And right now, why it's doing this, can make full circle of it, is the network is fully congested on the first plane. It's like the passengers are hanging off the plane and more want to jump on, right? Yeah. So that's why they need to build this other plane, right? Or this other network to be able to facilitate all the transactions. So its actual biggest failure right now, it's success. As so many people using it, it didn't expect to scale this at the rate it did.
It's an overload.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And I don't know, you asked a question earlier, Maria. I don't know, I got a little bit sidetracked, but it's hard to say what's gonna be here, right? Ethereum right now looks like it's gonna be like Internet 3.0. If I had to guess right now, as a man educated, I'm like, what would be the Internet 3.0 built on? I would say most likely Ethereum. But if I were in a coma for 2 years, this crypto space is, man, it's different. I could wake up and there could be 8 other tokens that didn't exist, and it could be something completely different. And Ethereum could have went the way of like the house phone, you know what I mean? Or like some kind of technology like that. So we really don't know at the end of the day. But as of right now, what gives me the most faith is not just like Bitcoin has the network effect. Bitcoin has the marketing engine behind it, meaning it being the first, the biggest news outlets, people all around the world talk about it, tweet about it, et cetera, et cetera. But Ethereum is literally its own up and coming different animal that has a network effect as well, that has all these things. And it also has some of the greatest minds in the world working within its ecosystem. And this is why we talked about a few episodes ago, holding Ethereum. It's again, I'm just using words so people understand. It's kind of like holding an index fund. You're holding an ecosystem that's building all these world-changing technologies, platforms. It may build Internet 3.0 on top of it. So you holding it is like holding HTTP or www, which then was impossible back in the day. You couldn't invest in the index of the internet. And technically, we don't know if Ethereum is going to win. So I'm not saying just holding Ethereum is going to guarantee that. But by holding all the diversifying yourself to the main projects that are working to change the world, and you actively being on it, even with little sums of money. I'm sure if there was an index fund for HTTP, however you use your internet, man, I can believe you put $100 into that, and in the 90s, I can imagine where you'd be, right? That was an option for us. So this is kind of like hedging your bet in the new world right now, where it's like we have this building and up and coming, and you have the chance. And again, also, I remember talking to Anthony. The reason I first bought Ethereum was I went to him and I was like, I don't understand this technology very well yet. I'm still pretty new, but I know that as an entrepreneur, I'm going to start a business one day on this. So I don't know what that business is going to be, but let me buy some Ethereum because I knew that Ethereum is what powers the network. If you want to build a Ethereum website, if you want to launch anything, you have to use Ethereum as like a gas fee or as part of the ecosystem of building. So literally my first intention of buying Ethereum wasn't even as an investment in myself in the sense of I'm going to have a business I want to run on the internet. But my first purchase of Ethereum wasn't a speculative asset. I wasn't like, oh, Ethereum is going to do so well financially. Why I fell in love with Ethereum is I'm like, yo, this may change the world. This may create things my mind can't even conceive yet. And let me get some of this. So when that starts happening, I can take action. And that is why I'm so in love with crypto, Ethereum, the space in general. It just opens your mind up to possibilities that humans didn't even consider 5, 10, 15 years ago.
So here's a question for you. Sometimes when I first looked into it, you'll see one pops on for a while, it gets hot and drops off. another one, a new one drops on. How does it gain momentum? So, like for example, 5 years ago, I never heard of polka dot. Okay, polka dot was never a thing for me. Now I can't stop saying polka dot.
I can tell.
Okay, so how does it come, and then has it catch fire? Like why people are like, oh, we got to jump on polka dot or whatever.
So it's technology and network effect, right? If you have a great website or great technology and nobody on the planet sees about it, no traction, right? But we're assuming that most of this, for example, like we talked about this before, but I'll mention it again. The team of people that joined Ethereum, some of the greatest minds. So one of the guys that was on the team, I don't know his name, but he made the standard for ERC20 tokens. That is a way of launching a token on Ethereum. And it's as easy as launching a website. Like anyone can go right now, copy paste a smart contract code for free and launch a token. But it's just like a website. If nobody's going to your website, how much value does it have? If no one is using your token except you, that's exactly how valuable it is, right? So when it comes to Ethereum and smart contracts, it's guys that not only have the smarts to do it, to launch technology, but they're also in the community. So what happens is the gentleman who sent the ERC20 token is the gentleman who's the lead developer for Polkadot. But he's massively in the crypto community. He's massively in the Ethereum community. He attends all the big events. So when he's a known name, when he drops in his Telegram and the platforms that he uses, it goes off to the right sources right away. And then it takes off or it doesn't. And most likely the technology is good. If it came and you dropped it to the right place, it will take off and have its own network effect. So that's kind of how it happens. It happens through the right technology being built and launched at the right place, and people that understand the technology and understand what it could do, test it. And like they see if they can hack it, they see if there's mistakes, glitches in the code. So it takes off like that. And it doesn't switch. Obviously, it does a lot. But if you go, for example, the coin market cap, that website is based on the coin's value. So that doesn't change very often. But if you go to a website like World Coin Index, that shows you all the coins, that's based on trading volume that day. So if you watch the top 10 coins in World Coin Index, Bitcoin and Ethereum are almost always going to be number 1 and 2. But then you look at the other 8 and you'll see them. What is this? And there's coins I never heard of. That's like the 300, 800, 1,000 biggest market cap coin, like tiny, but they'll be in the top 10 trading volume. And to me, that'll signal something. I should probably research this, or let me find out a little bit more about this. Not to say I need to invest. Maybe I do, maybe I don't, right? But that's why I kind of like having both sites, because one is the stable one, and the one right there you're pulling up, well, it's based on trading volume that day. So if something is like went super exciting, super viral, right? You're going to see it in the top 10, top 50, however many coins you're watching on a platform like that. And the question was, how does this all happen, right? It just happens, like I said, good technology and a network effect of human beings. But if you have no network, even if you have the good technology, and vice versa, if you have good tech, right, you have amazing network, an amazing network, but you have no tech. Like some YouTube guy launches a coin, but he didn't hire anyone from the crypto community. He had his friend Bob make it, right? It's not going to blow up. So it's the combination of the two, I think, that makes it really take off in the field. And I believe that applies almost to anything, but especially in crypto.
Yeah, see, I'm at number 100, and there it is. You know what I mean? It's like you just got to look, see what.
There's thousands, but I'm saying someone that wants to pay attention, like to have your trading volume be in the top 10 or 20 says a lot. And when you see the same names all the time, like if you stare at the screen, like even just 10 minutes a day, 5 days a week, a few months later, you're going to recognize the same names that are there all the time.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, there'll be 1 or 2 names any given random day. And you're like, what is that? I have no clue what that is, right? And those are good tells, right? To me, that's opportunity. You go in and you research and you're like, okay, what is this? I don't know about it. How did it become one of the top 10 trading volumes on the planet in this new emerging space, which is now worth over $1 trillion, where Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is growing I think faster than any of us expected. Like some of us expected this and more, but you're kind of like, okay, it may happen, it may not. And when it does, you're like, whoa, this is happening right now. So.
There's your Polkadot. Now, let me ask you something. Now that he brought that out, I saw the Dogecoin. we all heard that Elon Musk said he's not taking any more Bitcoins for the purchases of the Tesla, and that kind of brought a dip into the Bitcoin price. Now, when we look at the other coins that are around, and he promoting Dogecoin, I don't know how you pronounce that, whatever, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And promoting it for the SpaceX things that he's doing, whether he talks about Dogecoin or Ethereum, do you think that's something that could impact now this new coin that he's talking about, like increase the cost of it, like something that we should be looking
100%.
at?
Like I believe that Elon Musk in the beginning was just having fun, right? And he's just like, Dogecoin can change the world, right? He made some tweets. And literally, he's a pot smoker too. He might have been a little bit high, enjoying his fucking afternoon, and decided, you know what? Let me just make a tweet about Doge, right? I don't think that if you had an intellectual conversation with him, that he would think that Doge has anything to do with the planet, to impact change, anything like that. He just thinks it's hilarious that there could be this new technology and I think he almost laughs at human beings. Like where his mind is like different place than most of us, right? So he's just looking at us like we would look at an ant farm. So he's looking at this little ants. He's like, look at these little humans and Dogecoin. Let me tweet about Dogecoin. But my concern though is, okay, full disclosure, not that I love everybody. All humans are great. All animals are great. All life is great. And I never really I respected Elon Musk very much so as an intellectual person. I really didn't have an opinion whether he was like a psychopath or not. Like the people that run this planet, a lot of politicians, a psychopath means someone that doesn't feel emotion. There's nothing wrong with that. Like some human beings are born asexual, like 10%, meaning you just don't get in the mood. And some people could literally be born without emotion. They could like stab a frog in the eye and feel nothing, right? And I'm sympathetic that I was blessed to born with feelings. But if you're a human that was born like that, what could you do, right? And those are the people that end up getting into politics and running our planet. And I don't mean to go on this rant against Elon, but I never seen him as nothing but positive. But after yesterday, I feel like he's the younger version of Donald Trump. Like if you remember Donald Trump in the 90s, he was in hit movies, Home Alone. He was in the scene kind of low key, like Elon Musk was. He wasn't the president yet, but he was still in the main seat, and he was kind of like considered a cool guy. I actually have a magazine I was given as a gift. I have Donald Trump on the cover of Playboy. You know what I mean? Obviously, he was doing his thing. So I feel like Elon Musk, I never thought of him like this till this. And we haven't had a nonsense or a propaganda campaign against Bitcoin in a long time. And I honestly thought we were past those days. And they've tried so many things. Governments banning it. They tried India a few months ago. That didn't do nothing to the price. They've attempted all these things. Out of nowhere, I didn't see this curveball coming. Elon's like, we don't like the electricity. There's some, like what, 1%, 1% of 1%, 1% of 1,000, like one of 1,000%. Coal mining is required. If you actually read his paragraph, we can pull it up, whatever, doesn't matter. It's all fun, but if you read the power statement, we are not selling our Bitcoin. It's all this nonsense about this, that, and the third. But if you read the power line, we are not selling our Bitcoin.
I'm trying to find it.
Find it.
It's like, so to get this fun about environmentalness, do you understand what's happening in central ecosystems? The computing power required to run American dollar is so much more inefficient than Bitcoin. Actually, one of the owner of Binance made a tweet about it. He said, what about all the other currencies you take, right? So clearly he's in that community of people that own the central banks and have a huge influence on our day-to-day society and our reality. And I didn't care whether he was in that tribe or not. I never really questioned. I just enjoy my life, right? But now I know for sure in my intuition, he's in the Donald Trump tribe, which is not a good or bad thing. It just is what it is, right? And they needed something to bring down Bitcoin. It was moving too fast. What happens, right? When regular people miss an opportunity, we miss an opportunity.
Right.
Yes.
When the people that run this planet miss an opportunity, what do? They bring it back.
They make an opportunity.
And then they fucking get into it. They don't miss. They'll make it. No, they'll find a way. So what's happening now is the companies that want to invest billions of dollars into Bitcoin, in my opinion, this Elon Musk was a blessing. Like, yes, thank you. Bitcoin at 50 is so much better than 100 or 75, right? So people, don't sell your Bitcoin to the rich. That's who's taking it. All the people that already run this planet, they already have everything. They want your crypto. Don't let them get it. And if you have no crypto, buy a little bit, because that's what they're doing. You want to do what the people that's run the planet do. And if all of us do that, they most likely will have less influence on us, because we'll become all independently more powerful. Because now we're making, like, do you think you got intel 500 years ago on what the king and princes of the planets were doing?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we had a ways communicating like this? Now we can. Here we are talking about anyone on the planet, anything that's happening, anytime, 24/7. Now we're gonna be able to do commerce digitally. Telling you,
Push
get
a
your little
button.
piece, right?
Button
Get your
in.
little piece.
There you go. All right, everybody. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come right back. Don't go nowhere. And then we'll say, see you later.
Immigrant Women in Business, IWB, is a non-profit organization bringing together women from over 50 different countries around the globe. These women have now made Canada their home and share a common goal of providing value to their new sisters. Our motto of "We are stronger together" resonates with all members, and with a diverse membership of business leaders, entrepreneurs and community builders, our goal is to make Canada better and provide guidance and leadership to those that follow.
CMJ Entertainment is a one-stop shop. CMJ Entertainment helps people do any type of events, and it's a marketing tool as well. So we'll cover everything from start to finish. If it's a wedding, we'll make sure your wedding is over the top. And if it's an event, we make sure that everybody gets information at the end of the day. Give us a call at 416-414-8964 or online, go to cmjent.com.
Yes, we're back live. I see everybody's head down writing away. I see Maria, her pen. I feel sorry for the pen. How many pen? Look at her book. Let me see your book.
I made notes, okay? I made notes.
There we go. All right, people. It is the weekend. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to do some homework. I'm going to give you guys homework. All right. Number 1, research the world that we live in right now with this cryptocurrency. What is it? How does it work? What's the future look like? You know what I mean? It might not be taking out your wallet anymore and paying with cash and everything. You know, the future is around the corner. Some companies are doing it now. You know, you walk into a store and you just, how would you like to pay? Debit or crypto? You never know. It's coming. I think it's coming. You just tap, and that's how it is. So learn about it. You never know. And then learn about yourself. What type of person are you? Last show, we talked about it. Are you the safe one? Do you dive right in, learn about yourself? And then thirdly, learn what's out there, the exchange, how to do it, the wallets, the banks, the exchange rates, how everything works, and then dive in. All right? Take your steps. Be like Maria. Write it all down. Look at it and say, you know something? I think I know what I'm doing. But if you don't know what you're doing and you need help, you know what you do?
Go
You
Peter.
go to Peter. You say, Peter, I can't do this. I need help. There you go. You go to his website right there. Go to his website. He always has some information on there that can help you. And then, ask for his services. I'd rather have somebody beside me working this out than doing it on my own and mess it up. So that's what Peter is there for. Hire him. He will help you get to that next level. All right, everybody. It is the weekend.
Let me end off one quick little, I want to give a little quick few stats before I go, which I didn't mention about Ethereum.
Sure.
Remember, what's special is rarity, right? So I talked about in the beginning. Let me just end with it as well. So there's only going to ever be 21 million Bitcoins. There's already 18 point something million existing now. It's going to take the 2,140 for them to all come out. Ethereum is going to have about 113 and inflate slowly after that. But it's very limited, right? This is what makes it rare. Everything that we've grown up in, our grandparents, we grew up in an inflationary monetary system, meaning that they could just make more money, more bonds, more credit, whatever the case may be. But right now, we may be entering, for the first time in any living human adult's life or any living human's life right now, a system that's actually opposite of hyperinflationary. It's opposite. It's rare. So this is why it's important. If you missed everything else from this, is get a piece of this digital rarity that may be building the new infrastructure of the digital world. And you know how important the digital world is this day and age. So get a piece of that digital rarity while you can. And in the future, whether you have a piece or not, you're going to be using this technology, whether it be layers built on top of it, whatever the case may be. And it's fine. That's an amazing thing. If you've made no income off the internet, there's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm telling you is if there's a new internet being built, and you're not financially free or not in a good financial place, take a risk. Take a small portion of whatever you're making. It could be $10 a week, but you compound that over 6 months to a year with where the world's going, with a new potential monetary system for human beings. And literally the richest, smartest people in the world are moving in this. And if you just copy them on whatever level that means to you, that can make life-changing income. And for some people, life-changing income could be hundreds of dollars, thousands, millions, depending on the human. But right now is the time to take action. Get a piece of this digital rarity, because you're going to be using this technology one way or another. It's not something you could ignore. It's like you can't ignore email. You can't ignore the internet. You can't ignore this technology. It's going to be in your life. So either take action now and gain massive profits, or wait and use the technology and be thankful. Either way, it's gratitude, but I just have to end off on that.
There we go. There we go.
That
And
was
there you go.
amazing. Well said, my friend. Well said.
All right. There's everybody wants to say thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend. And yes, we will too. Be safe. Be safe. Be safe. All right, everybody. We'll see you next time. See you later.
Has come to an end. But the fun doesn't have to stop here. If you have any questions, suggestions, or feedback, head over right now to Twitter and Facebook and like, share, and get involved. Join us next time.
Please be advised that this podcast is meant for educational and informational purposes only and is in no way a replacement for legal or medical advice. The opinions contained within are solely those of the interviewers and interviewees and should be received as so. Those seeking help or advice are encouraged to obtain professional legal and medical